This is Adam from Precise Petcare, and this is our new interface webinar. Just at the top here, I just want to make it clear that this is primarily focused on those who are already using our system, and we're going to mostly be covering new things. It's not an exhaustive feature list of everything that our system does. So for those that have never used our system before, we're going to do a different webinar just for getting everything set up. So while this may be interesting to you, it may not be ideal as your first webinar. So I just want to start off by showing the new interface. As all of you can tell, it's very much different from what you see now. And it is, of course, mobile responsive. So if I were to shrink it, you can see what it looks like on a tablet and a phone, and it's going to be consistent device to device. And the new look of the registration page. You have a little pop-up login right here that people can access very quickly. And again, responsive. In this footer here at the bottom, I'm going to cover this a little bit later, how to set this up. But this footer is consistent wherever you are in the system, whether that's on the public-facing pages or the pages where you need to log in. So that allows you to really brand your business and the Precise Petcare website. So here is, we've logged in, and this is our new dashboard. So as you can see, there's a lot of things that are different. We have our new navigation here is on the left instead of on the top. And we have our notifications up here they're expandable, so they don't take up quite as much room. And if we were to open some of the navigation, we'll see that the numbers in the notifications will match the pages. So just looking at your navigation, you can tell how many notifications you have for that particular page. And the search has been there before, but we've improved it a little bit. There's also some other things in the search, like if you search for help, it's going to bring you right to the help. So it's not just going to be the information. One of the things that's going to be new, and this is going to be very helpful for you that are just getting used to the new interface, is we have tours. Now they're not going to be for every page, and we're going to add to them as we go. But this is going to allow you to learn the interface without having to refer back to a video like this every time. So we'll see as we go through the tour, it'll look something like this. And I'm not going to detail the tour right now because you will be able to do that. One of the big new updates is the live sitter map. And this allows you to see the last known location of each one of your sitters. So it's going to have one item for each sitter. It won't be one for each visit. So just one per sitter, unless someone's late. Then there'll be additional items for each visit that they are late to. And it is live, of course, so that means it's going to automatically update. And you can just leave this page open, and the map will update automatically. And you can just watch your sitters progress through their day. And the new icons, the new system icons, look kind of like this. You'll also see this in the master schedule. If I click on this one right here, it's going to bring us up the map of that visit. Usually you'd have someone a little bit closer to the house that they're at, but this is the demo site, so things aren't quite like that. But you can see what it looks like. And as we scroll down here, we have our live communication. And this is, like the sitter map, this is also live, so this updates automatically. And this is going to show you all forms of communication for clients. It's going to show you messages and notes and cancellation requests and journals. So it's all in one place. And and so you can have all your clients listed that have communicated in the last 48 hours. And if you don't want to see them, if you dealt with that, you can just click done, and it'll hide it until the next time they communicate. You can look at that a little bit larger too, and you can see that this is the communication history in the last 48 hours. We have graphs here for monthly completed visits and monthly received payments. This gives you a quick comparison of this year and last year, as we're just starting in the beginning of January here. You can't really see that too well, but you can see we have 12 visits this year, January, and then 135 last year, January. So this is just an at-a-glance way for you to compare this year to last year. These other panels are pretty much the same as before. We have an additional Precise Petcare updates panel down here that just shows you the latest mailings. So if you didn't catch those through email, those are all going to be listed right here. Now let's go to the master schedule. And that is under, of course, scheduling. And like I said before, we have our system icons are very much different than the tags that you may have. That makes each one of those stand out so you don't get them confused. Like our new ongoing icon looks like this. And if I just show you what that looks like, you pop that up. Very, very similar, of course. That the design is different, but the information is basically the same. So it's not going to be too confusing for most people. And on each visit, you can access the menu for performing a single action right here, that little down arrow. And that gives you all of the actions that you're used to doing. And you can access it just for that single visit right there. Now, one that I want to show is we've improved the recalculate in such a way that it'll give you a before and after. So the recalculated price in this particular instance, the recalculated price is the same as the current price, but if it wasn't, it would tell you that there was a difference. So this gives you a nice breakdown of where the price of the visit comes from as well. And if you click the little edit icon, it'll bring you right to that particular service or add-on service. We went to one over here that had surcharge. You can see it a little bit different. And now when recalculate it's not surcharge. No, I was talking about surcharge. All right, so you can see we have our location surcharge $4, one extra pet for $3 and $20 for the visit. So the total is 27. So that breakdown is going to really help you know exactly where that price comes from. And the same for the pay, of course. So that visit actions are done over here. Now, if you want to do bulk actions, just like for if you use the checkboxes to select and select all is up here now. We have our actions that we can do. These are the same as with a single visit, of course. Those should be the same things that you were used to. And we also have, instead of the set to that you may have been used to before, we have a bulk edit. And this bulk edit allows you to change more than just a few things. So you can change a number of things in bulk all at the same time. And all you have to do is click on something and it'll check it, which means it's going to change that. Or if I uncheck it, it won't change that. So say we wanted to change, let's see, what could we do here that would actually sense? Yeah, we want to add notes to sitter. So let's change all the notes to sitter. Don't forget. All right, so now if we save, we should be adding notes to all of these visits. So that bulk editor is very powerful. And when we go to add a new visit, you'll see we have a little links right here that'll take you to that section of the, and we may still experience some bugs, but we will of course fix those. So if we go to new, so these links will take you right to that section, which is very helpful, especially on the client profiles where there's a lot of different sections. This information is basically the same here. Nothing's changed, but one thing I did want to show you that is new is you have save, and then you also have other options. So one of those new options is save and invoice. So for those times when you immediately want to invoice someone, you can just use that save and invoice button, and that'll save you that whole step of going to the invoices page and going new, and so that'll save you a whole lot of time. So the next thing we're going to show is the site options. I'm going to show you how to configure the footer. This information in the site options is of course essentially the same, with the interface being slightly different. See, that looks a little bit different. So if we go to branding, this is where we can set that up. So we have your business hours, your social media links, and your colors, and your contact information, of course. I think that's been there for a while. Right up your company location and phone number and URL. So make sure to add your social media links and add your business hours, and just spruce up your footer there. And if the system detects a Facebook link, it'll add a little Facebook box for you there as well. So the next thing I want to show you is the invoices. This is one of the pages that we've really spruced up, having all these icons here, which make it very easy to see. So we have paid and sent and viewed. So just as you scan, and if we click on an invoice number, it's going to pop up that invoice without bringing you to a brand new page. So again, information basically the same, just design is updated. And if we do open that in a new window, we can see we can actually go through a individual client's invoices one by one. We go use a previous, the next. All right, so the next thing would be, I want to show some additional pages before I move on to logging in as a client here. So one of the new things that we have is under communication, and it is a to-do list. Now you may have noticed in the notifications that I had a to-do list notification. And using the to-do list, you can assign tasks that are independent of any of the scheduling, but they can be whatever you want, and you can schedule to notify on a certain date and time, and it can be for particular users, particular groups of users. So that's just something that may come in handy for a lot of people. Something else that is a new page is if we go under Tools, Administrative Tools, the ongoing series are all listed in one place. So instead of having to go to the schedule and locate it in the schedule, this would be a way for you to make changes to an ongoing series, or even see, like if we were to search for one particular client, we could see all the ongoing series for a client in one place. So just in case that may not be clear when you're looking at their schedule, that's a way for you to update the ongoing series. Now let's jump to the client profiles. And again, mostly similar, except a lot of things are new here. So we have the communication. And this kind of mirrors what we were looking at with the live communication on the dashboard. So this is a way for you to see a feed of communication from all different aspects of the system, whether that's notes or messages or cancellation requests or journals, all in one place. And then you have back and forth, so you can see when your staff has communicated back to them. And if we wanted to hide these panels, that'll actually save. So if I reload this, so if there's any panels that you just don't use, you can just hide those panels and you don't have to look at them. Um, let's go look at a journal. So similar to the invoices, you when you're viewing a journal, and you may have also noticed that when you're viewing a journal, that you're actually within the interface of the administration, so you can still navigate to other sections. But you can actually scan through and go previous and next through journals for a particular client. So that's also something that the clients can do, which is it's going to be very handy if they are coming home from a long trip and they want to look at all of their journals at once. Then they could look at one and just go previous and next without having to click on them individually. And again, very similar information. Design is updated. The photos are going to be touch-friendly photos and share-friendly photos. If we want to share, actually, your clients could download that image. And if we're swiping, we don't have multiple photos, but if we had multiple photos, we could swipe with our fingers between them. So they're touch-friendly and they work very well on mobile devices. One thing that your clients are going to be able to see, and this is going to be completely optional on your part, is you can add profiles for staff. So if your client's looking at a journal or they're looking at their schedule, they can actually click on that staff member's name. And if we had a working photo, you would see that photo there. Again, demo site, sometimes things are a little bit missing here. Um, so they can see a biography of that sitter just by clicking on their name. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to log in as a client, and we can see a little bit of what clients see that is new. All right. So the first thing you may notice on their dashboard is they have a special new panel, just like everyone else does. And for them, it's the timeline. And the timeline is a way for them to see all of their invoices and all of their journals, basically those most important things that you're doing with the clients, all in one place. So they'll have that listed history in timeline format. And if it's close enough to the time that they have registered, they would also see their new client registration message. So if someone had just signed up, they would only see the new client registration message in their timeline. And of course, there you can see the photos for the journals and the invoice details all right there. Now, we didn't look at this in the administrative view, but I will show you it from a client's view, and it's essentially going to be the same, and that is the photos. For administrators, it would be photos, and for clients, it's my photos. And this is a history of all of the photos that have ever been added for any journals or pets. So your clients have access to that complete history. And in addition to that, they can also create shared public galleries. So if you had ever taken photos of their pets and they wanted to maybe create a little gallery and share it on Facebook, they could select the photos they wanted to create a gallery with. And let's see, new shared gallery. Um, and I'll just call it shared gallery because I can't think of anything better right now. And let's create that. And It looks a little bit different when you have more than one photo. And this particular one is just one single photo, and you can see it makes it nice and big. If it was a multiple photo gallery, it would look a little more like this with many photos next to each other. So of course, being a shared public gallery, you can see we've shortened the link as much as possible and we have our share buttons to make it very easy for them to share that whenever they want. So let's look at invoices. So we're going to look at invoice for a client. And this particular one is paid. I do want to show you the make a payment page. Now, just like the invoices and the journals, the payments page, instead of kind of being on its own like it is in the old interface, the payments page is within the interface of the administration. So it's all very seamless. So they're able to make that payment right there, and they have their navigation right there. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I want to log in as a sitter, and we're going to show you some of the new things for sitters. So let's log in as Susie right here. Go to Susie. I'll log in as Susie. All right. So on the My Schedule page, one thing that's new here is we have a GPS indicator. So this little GPS button over here is going to show green when the system can locate the GPS coordinates, and clicking on it, which I'm not going to do because it'll show our current location, but clicking on it will show a map of where the system sees you by your GPS coordinates. So if you ever needed to check and see if your GPS is accurate, you can just click on that button, and that'll tell you exactly where the system sees that you are. All right. So I want to add a journal here, and let's try that again. All right. So the journals are the same. You can ignore this part up here. That's not something anyone else would see. And let's just add a journal. We're going to say, all right, add fun. All right. So the thing that you would do before is you would either save and add photos or save an email client. Now, save and add photos is now save as draft. And if we click on that, it's going to bring us to that same spot where we can add photos. But something else that's new is we can now edit. And we can actually change, including to adding photos this way, we can change those options. So if we made a mistake in the notes that we saw after we clicked that button, oops, we can now edit that journal, and we can update those notes before sending to the client. And of course, the old way was you'd need to create a new journal and have the administrator delete the old journal. And so this makes it easy for sitters to fix that. Of course, once they've sent the journal, they can no longer edit the journal. And that's going to be it for the presentation. So I'm going to open it up to questions.